They drifted silently into the solar system, hidden behind cloaking arrays that shimmered like starlight. The Zellari, a technologically superior alien race, had traversed countless galaxies in search of one thing: power. Not crude fuel or mineral wealth, but dormant energy signatures, ancient tech, and lost civilizations that could give them an edge in their endless conquest of the stars. Earth was not on their map. It appeared as a faint blip during a long-range scan near a dead zone of space. Curious, they recalibrated their instruments. Something strange registered from the third planet of a yellow sun. An energy signal too organized to be natural, too quiet to be active. It pulsed once every 1.7 minutes like a slow heartbeat beneath a dying world. The Zellari, ever pragmatic, dispatched observation vessel Juron 7, a sleek obsidian black ship that orbited Earth without a sound. From orbit, the planet looked peaceful, green, blue, and silent. Their scanners reported a thriving ecosystem, stable atmosphere, but no sentient life. Cities stood intact, but overrun by vegetation. Oceans were free of pollution. No satellites orbited. No radio signals. No resistance. Just silence. They dubbed it a ghost world. The crew on board Juron 7 consisted of explorers, scientists, and a commander named Virex, known for his unshakable logic and fascination with extinct species. He ordered a focused scan of major population centers: New York, Tokyo, Nairobi, São Paulo. All empty. No corpses, no signs of battle, no decay, as if humans had simply vanished overnight. Then came something stranger. Their data arrays picked up faint temporal anomalies in the ruins. Small flickers in the space-time continuum localized to key sites: museums, temples, government buildings. It was as though the past hadn't fully left. Glitches in time, shadows of a world that once was. The Zellari were puzzled. Their technology could detect the quantum echo of historical events, but never had they seen so many compressed into a single world. Commander Virex made his decision. A ground team would land for further investigation. Caution was advised, but the opportunity was too great. If Earth truly housed a force capable of displacing an entire species without a trace, it was either a weapon or a key. The dropship descended into the atmosphere, cutting through thick clouds as it headed toward a site once known as Geneva, the supposed last location of major human activity. As they landed, a hush fell over the crew. Trees burst from buildings. Streets were covered in moss. Nature had reclaimed everything, yet the structures stood eerily preserved, untouched by time's decay. The Zellari were used to war, radiation, ruin. But this was different. It wasn't destruction. It was abandonment. One of the explorers, scanning the ground with a multi-spectrum lens, muttered something rarely heard among their kind. "I think they left willingly." Commander Virex didn't respond immediately. He was staring at a collapsed monument near the center of the plaza. It was engraved with a human face, half eroded, half intact, staring toward the sky as if waiting for something.
Or someone. They had found Earth, but they were beginning to suspect they weren't the first, not even close. The air was too still. As the Zellari stepped onto Earth's surface, the dropship's landing ramp hissed open and released a soft mist
of cooled vapor. 4 figures emerged: Commander Virex, xenoscientist Lirayan, data analyst Core, and security officer Drelk. Each wore adaptive biosuits designed to withstand extreme planetary conditions, but there was no threat here. No radiation, no toxins, just silence. Geneva, once a hub of global diplomacy and knowledge, had become a monument to absence. Towering buildings stood firm but draped in green, ivy curling through broken windows, trees erupting from rooftops. Despite the overgrowth, nothing was in decay. The city looked as if time had skipped over destruction and gone straight to dormancy. Virex swept his visor across the landscape. Preservation level is anomalously high. Structural decay minimal. Biosigns abundant. Civilian population null. Core's scanners hummed. No corpses, no remains, No carbonized material or trauma markers. It's like the entire species was erased without physical consequence. Liren stepped forward, waving a scanner near a public data terminal. Surprisingly, it powered on. Faint images blinked across its cracked surface, news feeds, calendars, broadcasts in dozens of languages. The final entry was dated just over 300 years ago. No event markers, no alerts, no signs of panic. They didn't die, Liren said. They vanished. As they moved deeper into the city, the alien team began to sense something beyond logic. The silence wasn't just environmental, it was thick, intentional, as if the world itself was holding its breath. No birdsong, no buzzing insects. The trees swayed without wind. Even their own footsteps sounded muffled, as if Earth refused to echo back. They found public libraries still intact, digital records preserved in underground vaults. Humanity had reached a pinnacle of knowledge and peace in its final decades. No signs of war, plague, or collapse. In fact, their last known era had been one of cooperation, exploration, and spiritual awakening. The silence then became more ominous. What kind of civilization walks away from its own success? Core made a discovery beneath the remains of the World Data Nexus, a buried chamber filled with backup cores and AI interfaces. Most were corrupted, but one, marked Orion, flickered to life. The holographic AI, shaped like a geometric star, struggled to form words, stuttering through static. This is the threshold, not the end. Then it blinked out. Threshold? Drelk asked. Threshold to what? Suddenly, Liren's instruments began spiking. Subterranean scans revealed concentrated energy fields beneath the planet's surface, vast and ancient. Not geothermal, not synthetic. Something else. Something alive. Commander Virex stood at the edge of a shattered balcony, looking down over the ruins of a once great city, and felt something strange, a sensation foreign to most Zilari. Awe. It wasn't just the mystery of a missing species. It was what Earth had become in their absence, not dead, not abandoned, guarded. The silence is not absence, he said. It's containment. They had come looking for a planet. They had found a puzzle. And something deep below was waiting for them to try solving it. Beneath the ruins of Geneva, silence gave way to something else. A hum. It started faint, barely a vibration beneath their boots, but it grew stronger as the Zilari descended into the earth. Following Liren's energy readings, the team uncovered a sealed access hatch hidden under a collapsed monument. With minimal resistance, the Zilari's tools carved through the debris, revealing a long-forgotten tunnel. It spiraled downward, deeper than any human metro system should have gone. The walls changed as they progressed, from concrete to polished, black stone laced with glowing veins of unknown minerals. The material responded to their presence, lighting up in their wake like neurons firing in a living brain. It's not infrastructure, Liren said, scanning the glowing walls. It's responsive, organic in behavior, possibly even conscious. They passed beneath layers of Earth's crust into a cavern vast enough to hold a small city. At the center floated a colossal structure, the core. Suspended in midair by invisible forces, it pulsed with energy so dense it bent the space around it. It was unlike anything the Zilari had seen, a fusion of human design and something far older. It's not natural, Core whispered, but it's not alien either. It's both. As they approached, the core began to shift. Its outer surface, made of interlocking crystalline panels, rearranged into a perfectly symmetrical shape. Then came the voice. It wasn't sound in the traditional sense, and it echoed inside their minds. You have entered the axis of human ascension. You are not recognized. Identify yourselves. Drelk instinctively raised his weapon, but Virex motioned him to lower it. We come in search of knowledge, he said aloud, unsure if the entity could even understand. There was silence. Then the core responded. Knowledge is memory. Memory is sacrifice. Do you wish to know what they gave? Before they could respond, The core emitted a burst of light, not an attack but a transmission. In an instant, each Solari was flooded with visions, not images but experiences. They lived humanity's final days, not of destruction, but of transformation. They saw people meditating in unison, energy flowing between minds like rivers of light. They watched as ancient ruins around the world activated, pyramids, stone circles, forgotten temples, each a part of a vast planetary mechanism designed to unlock something dormant in human consciousness. They felt what humans felt: unity, transcendence, release. And then, nothing. The vision stopped, the core dimmed, returning to its calm, pulsing glow. They didn't die, Liren said slowly. They evolved. They activated something, left this reality. Together. Core was trembling. That's not possible. Consciousness doesn't just leave matter. Virex turned to the core, his voice quiet. Unless matter was never the final form. The core shimmered again, showing an image, a human figure dissolving into starlight, surrounded by millions of others rising beyond the atmosphere, becoming energy, merging with something greater. They are not gone, the core said. They are waiting. The weight of the revelation sank in. Earth was not just a planet, it was a cocoon, and the Zalari had just cracked it open. Whatever humanity had become was still connected to this place. And it was watching. The core's revelation hung in the air like an invisible weight. The Zalari had expected ruins and relics, not a living monument to ascension, not a gateway to something beyond comprehension. For a moment, the team stood in silence, processing the enormity of what they had seen. But awe quickly gave way to division. Commander Virex remained still, eyes fixed on the pulsing core. This changes everything, he said. They left willingly. They evolved beyond the physical. This is not a tomb. It's a monument to potential. Liren nodded in quiet agreement, still shaken from the psychic download. We should document and leave. Interfering could trigger defenses we don't understand. But not everyone shared their caution. Security Officer Drelk, more soldier than scientist, was unconvinced. We came here to find power, not stories. He approached the core slowly, weapon slung over his shoulder. If they ascended, they left something behind, something they used. This structure, this thing, could be that power. Core frowned. That's not what this is. It's not a weapon. You're thinking like a human, Drelk snapped. We're Zalari. We conquer, we survive. This could be the edge we've searched for across galaxies. Before Virex could respond, Drelk extended his arm and activated a scan beam directly into the core's surface. Instantly, the chamber reacted. The lights within the black walls surged like lightning, and the floating core expanded outward, panels rotating and separating like petals of a mechanical flower. A deep hum filled the air, vibrating through their suits and into their bones. Then came the voice, no longer calm. Violation detected. Interface compromised. Final protocol engaged. The air turned electric. Energy surged through the chamber floor in branching patterns like a neural network defending itself. Drelk, stop, Virex shouted, but it was too late. The core emitted a blinding flash. Not heat, not impact, just force. Drelk's body stiffened, suspended mid-air, then shattered into motes of glowing dust. His weapon clattered to the ground, the only thing left of him. Then, silence. The core dimmed slightly. Its panels retracted. The humming subsided. The team was stunned, frozen in place. Liren stepped forward, face pale under her visor. It didn't kill him. It erased him. Virex looked around the chamber, suddenly aware of the scale of the intelligence they were dealing with. This wasn't a machine. It was a guardian. A test. Perhaps even a filter. Allowing only those who were ready to know what lay beyond. And the Zalari had failed the first question. A new projection flickered to life above the core. A holographic figure. Human. Unmoving. A woman in ceremonial robes, eyes closed, hands raised in peace. Her lips did not move, but the message was clear and felt rather than heard. This gift was not meant for domination. It was our release. You are not ready. Leave this place or become part of its silence. The projection vanished. Core backed away. We shouldn't be here. No, Virex said, eyes wide with realization. We were meant to find this, but not to take it, to learn from it. He looked at the now dormant core, still humming, still waiting. The warning had been given, and Earth had made its point. Earth trembled. The death of Drelk, if it could even be called death, had triggered something. Deep within the planet, systems long dormant began to stir, responding not just to intrusion, but to intent. The core had defended itself, and now, Earth was watching again. The air in the chamber thickened, not with smoke or heat, but with presence. Static crawled across their visors. Data feeds malfunctioned. Gravity felt inconsistent, as if the planet itself was shifting around them. Even their thoughts, once crisp and ordered, began to blur at the edges, like echoes in a vast chamber of minds not their own. Commander Virex steadied himself against a crystalline outgrowth, eyes scanning the pulsing core. It's not just reacting, he said. It's activating. Liren turned her scanner toward the chamber walls. The entire structure is amplifying. I'm detecting synchronized surges across the globe. Pyramids, fault lines, ley nodes, they're all waking up. Core stared at his readouts in disbelief. The planet's magnetic field just spiked. Orbital instruments are going offline. The upper atmosphere is glowing. Above them, the core began projecting holographic glyphs, alien yet somehow familiar. They shifted and morphed, forming geometric constellations, timelines, equations, then faces. Human faces, millions of them flickering like stars. Then came the pulse. It started in the core's heart, a single beat of energy so deep and resonant that it echoed through the ground and into the sky. The chamber shook, not violently, but rhythmically, as if Earth itself had a heartbeat again. Outside, high above the surface, strange phenomena were unfolding. Clouds split in symmetrical patterns. Ocean currents reversed. Mountains vibrated. Across the globe, ancient structures buried or forgotten rose from the soil. Monoliths, temples, machines that had once been dismissed as myths or ceremonial art. All of them powered by the same force, now radiating from the core. Core's voice cracked. We've triggered a global harmonic network. This isn't just one machine. The planet is the machine. Virex took a step back, not out of fear but understanding. This was never about keeping people out. It was about keeping something in, until it was ready. The core began to levitate higher, panels rotating slowly around its center like a lotus blooming in zero gravity. The human glyphs coalesced into a spiral, forming a portal-like distortion in the center of the structure, an event horizon of raw, conscious energy. Then, for the second time, they heard it. Not through ears, but through the mind. They are near, they have not left. They wait for those who see, not to conquer but to become. In that moment, Virex understood. The silence of Earth wasn't abandonment. It was gestation. Humanity hadn't left Earth behind. They had merged with it, transcended through it, leaving behind not ruins but a living key. And now the lock was turning. Liren's voice was hushed. If we stay, we may not leave the same. Core looked toward the rising core. If we leave, we may never know what we could have become. Commander Virex stared into the spiral of light and thought of all the dead worlds the Zellari had conquered, all the civilizations they had erased. Earth was different. This world did not resist. It evolved. And now, it was inviting them to make a choice. The core hovered silent but radiant, its spiral of light expanding like a calm storm. The chamber around the Zellari seemed to dissolve, not physically but perceptually, like layers of illusion peeling away. The walls no longer looked like stone or metal. Instead, They revealed patterns, vast webs of interlinked consciousness, as if the Earth itself were a single sleeping mind, now slowly waking. Commander Virex stepped forward. He felt no fear, only clarity. "You said they are near," he whispered. "Where?" The core responded not with words, but with vision. The chamber vanished. Virex and the remaining team found themselves standing in a place outside time, a plane of light, suspended in what looked like deep space, but filled with currents of glowing energy and ethereal constellations. All around them floated silhouettes, humans not of flesh but of light and intention. They did not speak. They emanated. The Zilari felt their thoughts unravel, not in pain, but in truth. For the first time in their long expansionist history, they were not the dominant intellect in the room. They were students, infants before a cosmos-sized mind. Then came the understanding. Humanity had not vanished. They had transcended form, merged into a planetary consciousness, then reached beyond, unbound by space, time, or matter. They had achieved what no civilization had. They had become one, not just with each other, but with the deeper structure of reality, and they had left the door open. A final thought entered Virex's mind, not in language, in concept. Power is not conquest. Power is awakening. Those who seek to dominate will be unmade. Those who seek to understand may join us. And just like that, they were back in the chamber. The core was still. The hum had softened. Core collapsed to his knees, overwhelmed. I saw it. I saw the entire human species, not as individuals but as one being. Lyraean nodded, tears in her eyes. They became what we've been chasing across the stars, not rulers, not immortals. Just evolved. Virex looked at his own reflection in the crystal floor and saw something different, not his face but his question. The one buried beneath years of conquest and protocol. What if the true purpose of exploration wasn't domination, but transformation? He activated his comms. "This is Commander Virex. Full planetary quarantine is in effect. No Zilari ship is to approach Earth. This world is not lost. It is becoming." Core looked up, confused. "You're leaving?" Virex shook his head. "No, I'm staying." Lyran stepped beside him. "So am I." They all looked up at the core one last time. It was no longer a mystery. It was a mirror. Earth wasn't just a cradle of life. It was a seed, and it had bloomed. And as the Zilari left orbit, their flagship disappearing into the stars, a final pulse rippled across the planet. The structures across Earth lit up once more, not as warnings, but as welcomes. The truth was never hidden, only waiting for those ready to listen.